Hello everyone. Today we will do an example on text to SQL using Spring AI. So first I will show you how I created this project. So initially I opened this page, Spring Initializer. Then I added some dependencies. For example, OpenAI, Flyway migration, Flyway script, dependency, Spring Web, MySQL driver. Then I generated this project and then I added this project to IntelliJ. I already created this small application. So I'm just giving you an idea how I created, and then I explain you this thing. This is the main class, okay, in the Spring Boot, and this is a controller. So first, I pass a text, okay, and then that text will be converted into a SQL query. And if the query is valid, then that query will be executed on the database, and then I will get the response in the form of list. Then list response will be wrapped into a query response record, and that result will be wrapped into response entity, so client could see some kind of JSON response. Okay, these are my Flyway script. Okay, so first I created two tables. If they do not exist, they will be created. These tables will be created, and then some data will be added to Hogwarts house table, and some data will be added to the wizards table. Okay, and this is my application.yaml file. Okay, so this is the name of application, text to SQL demo using Spring AI and OpenAI. This is the database configuration. I have a dockerized MySQL database. Okay, and yeah, this is a JPA configuration. DDL auto is update. This is the name dialect because I'm using MySQL. I have enabled Flyway script. This is the configuration for Swagger UI. Okay, and this configuration is for OpenAI. I'm using GPT-4 model. To enable log, I configured it like this. Okay, and then the Spring Dog API. This is also part of Swagger. Okay, so this is my prompt. Okay, it's just mainly a context which I will pass to the OpenAI, so OpenAI could get some context. Okay, so yeah, I also present you some diagrammatic presentations so you could understand it better. Okay, so first I have a client. It could be Swagger or some kind of front-end client. Okay, so here I write client. Okay, then client will making a call to the Spring Boot application. So let's see whether we have some Spring icon. That would be really nice. That some different kind of icon, but I think this is enough to explain. Okay, if I see Spring icons, Azure Spring Cloud, Azure Spring Apps. Okay, okay. So I've got only three icons, and I think this is suitable one, most suitable one. Okay. So then I have database. Okay. And then I am using some context and client input to make a call to OpenAI. So let's see whether we have OpenAI icon. Yes, we have OpenAI icon. Okay, so this is the text plus context, and here I'm getting SQL response. Here I'm getting a response from OpenAI, that is a SQL query. That SQL query, SQL query will be executed on this database, MySQL. Then MySQL will send the response back to the Spring Boot. Okay, it will send the response back to the Spring Boot application. That response will be wrapped into an object, and that object will again wrap into a response entity. So response from Spring Boot could would be in JSON form. Okay. Text. This will be a text and query result will be the response. Okay. In case our text and context is passed to the OpenAI provide response, and that response is not valid SQL query, then some part of the validation will be done in the code logic, and the remaining validation will be done while executing that SQL query. Okay, and once the query is executed, then response will be sent, and if query has some issues, then an exception will be thrown back. Okay, yeah. And I have also two customized exceptions: invalid query and empty query. So this is the small diagrammatic presentation of how text to SQL work. Okay, and yeah, let's then we will do an example. First, I stop all running containers. And then I restart. Okay, the container is started, my SQL container. Okay. Then I start Spring Boot application. There are various ways to start a Spring Boot application. Either you click button here or you provide this Maven command. Okay. If you're using Gradle, you can also start it using Gradle Spring Boot command. So yeah, application is started. Okay, I already have tried it once. Use it again. Okay, so here I pass my query and I'll get the response. So let's see what response I get. Okay, so I pass a query, give me three wizards name and their blood status that belong to a house founded by Salazar Slytherin, and here I got the response. Okay, result. Okay, I'll show you what I passed in the here. See, first I created database. If doesn't exist, then database table will be created, and then some data will be passed here and here. Okay, so here I pass Slytherin. Okay, so that's why I got three response here. As you can see, 3, 1, 2, 3. I passed Slytherin. Here I got the ID, and then I passed Harry Potter, and what other name I got? Harry Potter and Half Blood. Harry Potter and Half Blood. It's like name and blood status. Okay, so name, blood status. Hermione Granger, Muggle, Ron Weasley, pure blood. Okay, Ron, we slip your blood, Hermione Granger, Muggle. Okay. So this is what I got as a response. So our example is done. Okay, so I'm just thinking what else I can explain you. What is left? I explain you this thing. This is the prompt. Okay. This init.sql, I'm just creating table to check the status. This script will be executed when application is ready. Spring Boot application is ready. So when Spring Boot application is ready, this part of the script will be executed. It is okay. However, it is not mandatory to run this script because I already having this script running here. Okay, it is quite redundant to be frank. Yes. Hmm. And this is our see one interesting thing I found that since I started using record, uh, I have to write less code, because if I were to write a model class, then it would be a separate class, and I have to write bit more code. Okay, but see, I did not define query request and query response, but see, I'm getting it so easily. This is one advantage of using record. Okay, and yeah, first the query will be generated, little bit validated. I can't say completely validated because it is validating only a part of it. You can see OpenAI call will be made, response will be sent back, that response will be checked that does it have select or not, because I never have seen a query without select statement in my whole professional life at least. Okay, so if it does not have a select statement as a first word, then exception will be thrown, otherwise the response will be sent back to the controller, query controller, and then that SQL query will be executed. That query will be executed like this. So it is basically an entity manager that is using create native query, and then result will be sent back in the form of list, and yeah, here. Okay, so that result will be sent back in the form of list, and that list will be wrapped into a query response object, and then that response will be sent back to the client. Okay, like this. I will get the response. My response code is 200. Okay, so yeah, our example is done. And thank you very much for watching this video. And in case you like this video, then please subscribe my channel. And I wish you a very nice day.